Hey, what's up everyone? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are looking at a Gundam figure from the Robot Damashii or Robot Spirits line. This is Extreme Gundam Type Leos Xenon face, which is because he's got different modes, I guess, different phases. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not the most knowledgeable about the fiction behind Gundams, but the figures are cool and I'm happy to start collecting them. So let's take a look at the back of the box real quick just so you can kind of see what this guy is capable of. He's got all kinds of posability, and the reason I picked this guy, aside from just looking freaking awesome, is he's got a bunch of add-on parts right in the kit, right in the package. He does actually have a whole extra batch that you can buy separately, but they cost way more than even the figure cost, so I didn't get those. The ones in the package are good enough for me. Here he is in his basic mode. Pretty, relatively standard looking for a Gundam. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. And so what I'm going to do is go through all of the articulation and everything on this guy the way he is, and then once I'm done with that, I'll show you all of the accessories and add-on parts. Only because it'd be a pain in the butt to show you that with all of the parts on him. Alright, so he stands, let's use this. He stands almost exactly 5.5 inches tall to the top of his crown, which, if you're used to Marvel Legends, it's relatively small, but it's not too small for import figures, and it's a really good figure. And he is fairly well proportioned. I'm not familiar if he has a TV show, or if this particular one is from a TV show, anime. I'm gonna have to look it up. I don't know about that. I like the proportions of it. Alright, so articulation wise, the head is on a ball peg. You can see right in there, hopefully, that the head is on a ball peg. It's somewhat limited, but it's not, it has a pretty good range of motion. It could go back a little bit farther, but it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. So that's cool. Excuse me. My allergies are acting up. I can't breathe well. Shoulder has a hinge right there. Does it go so? Yeah, it does. Okay, I wanted to make sure it wasn't just loose. So it has a butterfly joint built into the torso. So that's just kind of like a pivot, and then it has another pivot for the gray part of the shoulder. The shoulder flap itself is on a hinge as well. So really anything you want to do with the shoulder, you'll be able to do. This part of the shoulder is on its own hinge. Let's be careful. So the shoulder is just chock full of articulation. There's a swivel at the bicep. It's a little stiff. I'm going to have to grease it up a little bit, but it is there. Double jointed elbow. So full range of motion there. That's always nice. And then the wrists are double ball hinges. Well, it's a ball peg with a ball hinge, so it's effectively a double ball peg. It doesn't have the greatest range of motion, but it is in there, so it's pretty good. I do like that. So the shoulders, as you can see, as I pointed out, just tons and tons of posability, especially for such a small figure. They really packed it in there. So that's another reason I'm really getting into these Gundam figures, is they're just so well built. Now on to the torso. That's going to be a hard one for me to explain because it's got hinges and pivots and stuff all over the place, but it's all inside. So I can't really tell you too much about it without taking it apart, and I'm not going to do that, unfortunately. I don't know if they're ball pegs or what, but it has a hinge for this top one, this top piece, the red on the gray. That lets it hinge up and down. The side to side happens in between these two gray parts. It can also go front to back, in addition to the top. At the bottom, I think the bottom is just a ball peg. So at the very bottom of that, the second gray part, it can rock and lean in every direction. So I'm pretty sure that's a ball peg. This is a hinge that goes side to side, and then this is a hinge that goes forward and back. And as you can see, these pieces all kind of flex together. So it's just incredibly well made. I really can't get over how much effort they put into making these figures when we're used to getting all these crappy domestic figures that can't barely even use an ab crunch. So that's really well done. The only thing that I wish was a little bit better is the swivel in the torso, or the waist. Waist twist could be a little bit better, but it's not horrible by any means, so that's pretty cool. Alright, this piece here has a little bit of play to it, but that's mostly just because it comes off. So I'm not gonna worry about that right now. These are on ball pegs. You can just see the ball peg stick into that middle piece. So you can move those around based on how you need to move the hip. This one also on a ball peg, so you can do whatever you want with that. Can you see in there? Hopefully you can. Yeah, it's dark. Hard to get the light in there. There you can kind of see it on that side. Just a ball peg for that hip flap. The back ones, to be honest, I haven't really looked at them. It looks like it's just a hinge, or yeah, just a hinge for both of those put together. So that's pretty good though. The hip, this piece here that looks like an L, there, the light's kind of in there. That actually swivels forward and back to give the leg that range of motion there. And then there's a hinge on that for the leg to go side to side. And then the thigh can also swivel around that. There's a swivel where the gray connects to the white. So really it's just any bit of motion or any bit of articulation that you are used to having in a figure, it has it. It has everything you could want. Double jointed knees, pretty good range of motion. It's not the best looking kneecap I've ever seen, but it doesn't look horrible, and especially since it's a Gundam, you can get away with it a little bit more, so that's pretty cool. Especially the way it kind of tucks in, and the knee pad, the way that kind of fits over is just really, really cool. I like that. And then the ankles, I haven't looked too much at the ankles yet actually. It looks like a ball peg, a single ball peg at the top of that. Well, you can't really see. The lighting's killing me, but there's the gray part for the ankle that this piece pegs into is connected to the shin with a ball peg. So that moves around like that. It can swivel, goes forward and backward. This piece rotates with the ankle as you use the ankle rocker because of the way that's connected in that on that ball peg. And this one has a hinge at the bottom there, so the foot has a really good range of motion. Let's do it on this side, forward and backward, and then again it does have the ankle rocker as well. So really all the articulation you could want in a figure, you have it with this figure right here. Alright, now let's talk about all of the extra stuff that he comes with, and I'm going to try to keep it succinct, but I can't make any promises. Alright, so his backpack thingy, well, we'll leave that on for now. This is the standard backpack. It doesn't come on in the package. It's just this bottom part. Come on off. Okay, we'll leave it on. So he also has his two swords, his beam sabers or beam swords that peg in there, which looks awesome, but we'll set those aside for now. The little jetpack backpack thingy, if I can get it off. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright, that just comes off. It slides in on that big rail right there. Then you can put this one on. Let's put it together first. Alright, so this backpack just goes on the same way. Slides on right over that kind of ledge. If I can get it on. And go on. It went right on the first time. There we go. Alright, so that's the backpack, but then it also opens up and you have the thrusters or whatever they are there. This opens up to have more thrusters there, and it's nice and metallic, dark gunmetal type color, so that looks really cool. I do like that a lot. So that's the backpack. He has, this is going to take forever. Alright, he has alternate knee pads. I'll put those on now since those are the first things I grabbed. These knee pads pop off, and these knee pads pop on. These are bigger, so they hide the kneecap piece a little bit better when you're posing him. And of course, they look really good the way they are, but they look even better once you get the rest of the leg stuff on. But we're going to do the legs last, just because they're kind of big, kind of a pain in the butt to do. Alright, what is this? This is the crotch piece. So as I said before, this piece pops off, and this goes on. He actually comes with this one on. He comes with, I think the leg things are on him too in the package, but I just wanted to get him down to the base and then add it all on for you in the video. Alright, and then he also has these little arm things that pop off here, and the big ones pop on. And that looks cool as it is, but that's not it. These extend in the back and in the front, if I can do it. Come on. So that extends there, that goes up. These things rotate, and these are hinged as well. And the cool thing about these is they're not only hinged, but they swivel, so you can pose it however you want to. So he's got those big things that go on either arm. I'm not going to do the full thing on this side, but I'll snap it on so you can see. So he's got those, he's got the crotch piece, we already did the knee pads. Let's do the legs. So the legs, this part's really tricky because these are kind of hard to get at. You have to pop off both of the calf pieces on the leg. They're kind of hard to get in there. You either use your fingernail or a really fine screwdriver, but be careful, you don't want to break anything. And they do kind of stick in a little more than I thought they would for being removable. Alright, so those come off and you end up with the skinny leg like that. Then you pop this piece on, this is the bigger piece. That goes on to the side, it replaces the calf piece. I have that on the wrong one. Alright, so this one goes on because you want them to go the right way. So that replaces the calf piece. And then you also have, which one is it? This one, which replaces the other calf piece. And that just snaps in place as well. If I can see what I'm doing. I grabbed the wrong one again. Can't see what I'm doing. Alright, so that gives you the beefed up leg armor. And the cool thing about this is this part opens up and you have these little things inside, and maybe you guys know what those are, but since I don't read the manga or watch a show or whatever it is, I don't know. But that comes out and then you get these cool pieces that go in. So he's got those. And then he also has this piece which flips around to make more thrusters. So he is just chock full of thrusters and clear yellow pieces that I don't know what they are. If they're supposed to be like hard light type things, I don't know. But he's got them all throughout his body. That's another reason I picked this guy. I love the look of it with all that translucent plastic. But let's get the other leg pieces off so I can show you what he looks like with all of his goodies on. Again, they do tend to get a little tight, but a little coaxing and they should come off. Alright, so where is it? There's the big one. Put the big one on first. If you can see what you're doing, that helps. And there we go. And then the little piece. Get on there. Alright, and the little one actually pegs into the heel of this back part. So make sure that's all the way on. Alright, so we have that and that. This guy is just so full of stuff. Kind of thing that makes for a pain in the butt for a review, but a great figure to have. Tons of fun to get all of these little pieces put on him. Don't pop that off like that. It will just pop off though, so just be careful. Alright, there's that and that. Let's put it back on his arm, and then you can see what he looks like. Alright. There he is. So he's fully loaded with all of his stuff like that. So that's really cool, and then I think he looks best with his saber handles in there. Personally, even though they're fun to put out, they look good like that. So there he is, tons of stuff. Then of course he does have the sabers themselves. The blade part, 2 of those. Really nicely made, those just peg into the handles, and he does have alternate hands as well. So you see, on him are the hands for holding the handles. Then he has, of course, the 2 fists he comes with, and he has 2 different sets of open hands. Whatever. That's his right hand, the two different pieces, and then his left hand, really nicely sculpted. They look really cool. And then lastly, we have the crotch piece that gives you a place to put the stage 5. I think it's stage 5, maybe 4, I don't remember. Either way, they'll both work. The display stands. So he is just loaded with stuff. There's all of the pieces that I took off of him, and his hands and his beam sabers. And there he is with all of his goodness. Just totally cool. I'm really, really happy with this figure. I'm going to go buy some more Gundams now, I think. Alright guys, I know that was kind of a long video, but hopefully you enjoyed it. And thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. In the meantime, keep collecting.